The Tudor Black Bay 58 GMT was already one of the easiest GMT watches to recommend, so when Tudor updated it for 2026, I wasn't expecting a huge redesign. But after looking at what's changed, I think these updates matter more than they might seem at first. So in this video, let's go through everything Tudor has changed, what stayed the same, and whether this is the Black Bay 58 GMT I'd recommend buying in 2026. Before we talk about the updates, it's worth asking why the Black Bay 58 GMT became so popular in the first place. Because Tudor wasn't trying to fix a bad watch, it was already one of the strongest GMTs in its price range. I think one of the biggest reasons is the size. At 39 millimeters, it hits that sweet spot. It's compact enough to wear comfortably every day, but it still has enough presence on the wrist to feel like a proper sports watch. Then there's the design. Tudor managed to combine vintage inspiration with modern features without making the watch feel like a copy of the past. From the black and burgundy bezel to the gilt accents and the signature snowflake hands, it has its own identity. And of course, there's the movement. The Black Bay 58 GMT isn't just about looks. It comes with Tudor's in-house MT5 45 0-U movement, complete with COSC and METAS certification, a 65-hour power reserve, and a true GMT function. So whether you're buying it for travel or just because you love GMT watches, it has the performance to back up the design. Put all of that together, and it's easy to see why the Black Bay 58 GMT quickly became one of Tudor's most talked about models, which is exactly why the 2026 update mattered so much. When a watch is already this good, every small change gets noticed. So what's actually new for 2026? Well, if you were expecting Tudor to completely redesign the Black Bay 58 GMT, that's not what happened. Instead, they focused on improving the experience of wearing the watch without changing what made it so popular in the first place. The biggest update is the new 5-link stainless steel bracelet. Compared to the original 3-link design, this one has a more refined look with polished and satin finishes. It gives the watch a slightly dressier feel, but it still looks right at home as a sports GMT. The watch itself remains familiar. You still get the 39mm stainless steel case that's comfortable on almost any wrist, the black and burgundy 24-hour bezel, the domed black dial with gilt hour markers, and the domed sapphire crystal. These weren't things that needed changing, so Tudor wisely left them alone. So while the updates may seem subtle on paper, they all have one thing in common. They're focused on making an already excellent, even more enjoyable to own, rather than changing it just for the sake of having something new. Now let's talk about what's powering the Black Bay 58 GMT. Tudor has kept its in-house MT54 50-U manufacturer caliber, and honestly, I think that was the right decision. When you already have a movement this capable, there isn't much reason to replace it. One of the biggest highlights is that it's both COSC and METAS certified. Now, if those certifications don't mean much to you, here's the simple version. They show that the movement has been tested for accuracy under demanding conditions. METAS certification also means the watch has been tested for magnetic resistance, water resistance, power reserve, and overall performance as a complete watch. Not just the movement on its own, the movement also offers a 65-hour power reserve, giving you plenty of runtime between wears, along with a true GMT function that lets you adjust the local hour hand independently. If you travel frequently or regularly keep track of another time zone, it's a feature that's genuinely useful rather than just nice to have. What I like most is that Tudor didn't chase impressive numbers just to grab attention. Instead, they focused on building a movement that's accurate, reliable, and practical for everyday wear. And for a watch like the Black Bay 58 GMT, I think that's exactly the right approach. Specs can tell you a lot about a watch, but they don't always tell you how it actually feels on the wrist. That's where the Black Bay 58 GMT really stands out. The 39mm case is one of its biggest strengths. It's a size that works for almost any wrist without feeling too small or too large. Combined with a case thickness of just 12.8 millimeters, the watch has a balanced profile that slips comfortably under a cuff, but still has enough presence to remind you you're wearing a proper GMT. Then there's the bracelet. The new 5-link design feels more refined than before. Those are the kinds of details you may not think about when you're buying the watch, but they're the ones you'll appreciate after months of wearing it. And despite having a more refined look, Tudor hasn't taken away what made this watch special. It's still water resistant to 200 meters, so whether you're wearing it at the office, on a trip, or around the water, it feels ready for just about anything. So should you buy the 2026 Tudor Black Bay 58 GMT? I think that depends on where you're coming from. If you already own the previous version, I don't think this is the kind of update that makes upgrading an easy decision. The core experience is still very much the same watch. But if you've been buying a Black Bay 58 GMT for the first time, I'd say this is the version to get. The updated bracelet, the T-Fit clasp, and the small ergonomic improvements make an already excellent watch even better without changing what made people love it in the first place. What I like most is that Tudor didn't try to reinvent a successful watch. They simply refined it, and sometimes that's exactly what a great watch needs. But that's just my take. I'd love to hear yours. Are these updates enough to convince you, or would you stick with the previous Black Bay 58 GMT? Let me know down in the comments. If you enjoyed this review, don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more watch content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.